Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me today to come and speak at your conference. So I'll start my presentation. Hello, my name is Angela Chesworth, and I'm a person living with obesity. I've been invited today to share with you my lived experience in the hope that the next time you see a person that lives in a larger body, you may see them through a different lens. I am originally from Liverpool, but I now live in Carnforth near the Lake District with my husband, Paul. I've struggled with my weight for all of my 47 years of life, and I believe I will always continue to struggle. My heaviest weight to date has been 24 stone. However, thanks to bariatric surgery, a gastric bypass, which is irreversible, as it surgically reduces the size of your stomach from approximately the size of a watermelon to the size of an apple. I lost 12 stone in the first year. 7 years post-surgery today and 2 stone regain, I am maintaining a 10 stone weight loss. But I still live in fear. I live in fear that I will return to my heaviest weight if I don't work hard every single day. I would like to start by asking you some questions. I don't want you to answer, they are purely things for you to think about. Do you have a mother, a father, sister or brother, a partner, a best friend or a neighbour, maybe a work colleague, maybe yourself, who is living with overweight or obesity? Have you ever made fun of a fat person? Have you ever shared funny pictures on social media? Commented to a friend on how the big person is dressed? Joined in with a group of friends who are making who ate all the pie jokes? Nudged your friend and pointed whilst puffing out your cheeks? Have you ever looked at a person living in a larger body than what's deemed normal in disgust? Rolled your eyes because you sat next to the only empty seat on the bus? Scrunched up your nose because the overweight person next to you in the gym is sweating? Looked into a person's shopping trolley in a supermarket and thought, well, no wonder they're big. Well, the person living with obesity sees this judgment. They hear the laughter, they feel the disgust. Every single one of us, including the people in your life that are living with overweight and obesity. I too have made them jokes and had those thoughts because we live in a world of judgment. But when does our judgment turn to bias and stigma? I would like to show you a slightly 2-minute video, and I'm going to now hand back over to Baz, I believe. I have a technical support in the husband.
That's okay. So what I will do, Angela, I'll talk you through what you need to do. Okay. So if you can go to participants. When you go over participants, you'll find Baz's name in the list.
There you go.
And if you hover over Baz's name, it'll say more.
Make host.
Make Baz the host. And then I'll ask Baz to play the video, and then we'll do the same in reverse. So let me just make sure that Baz has got that for you.
Just having a look to see if I got presenter rights.
Yeah, you have. Just make share screen, Baz, the bottom.
Yep.
And then it'll go onto your screen, and if you could just play the video there.
Let me know when you can see this screen.
Yes, we've got a blank screen and the play button. Thank you.
What's the hardest part of living with obesity?
The feeling that I'm being judged, whatever I choose to eat.
That nagging sense that I'm an embarrassment to my kids.
Stares, and people who stare.
The look of dread on every passenger next to an empty seat.
That first glance that tells me I failed the interview before it's even started.
Knowing that I just don't fit in to the seats or life in general.
Wondering if I'll ever feel comfortable on a beach.
The fear that I won't be around to meet any grandchildren.
Actually, the hardest part of living with obesity is people thinking that I brought it on myself. I wish everyone understood.
It is so much more than eat less and move more.
Obesity is a complex disease.
Not a life choice.
Let's help change attitudes.
Let's lose the weight of stigma.
Are you ready to refer back, Angela? Shall we pass back to you?
Yes, please.
So, Baz, if you can go into the list of participants and find Angela's name.
Just having a quick look. Yeah.
And then it go to more
Got it.
and make Angela host.
Yeah.
You stop sharing your screen as well once you've made over. Angela, have you got that request?
Yes, thank you.
Fabulous, Baz. So if you take your screen off, that would be wonderful.
Just trying to do that now. Cool. Done.
Hang on a second. You might have gone backwards, Baz.
Let me just go.
Got you back on the screen again. So if you go back to Angela.
No, it says host for Angela now.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Right, Angela needs to share her screen again. That's exactly right. Thank you so much. Very impressed team. Technological is coming up.
Okay, next. Thank you. As a dental nurse, you may be wondering how obesity would impact a visit to the dentist. Well, I'd like to invite you to put yourself in the patient's shoes for a little while. As a child, I recall visiting my school dentist in fear. Not that he was going to hurt me, but that he would comment on my size like other medical professionals did. As an adult, when making a dentist appointment, I would always try to be the first on the list, as my dentist's waiting room was extremely small. If more than 3 people were waiting, I couldn't get in or out. It was bench seating, which I would take up a whole bench on my own. The ceilings were very low, so I would be sweating, which puts you on the receiving end of disgusting looks. The waiting room was upstairs, which would be a challenge in itself. If my appointment was later in the day and the waiting room was full, I would be stood on the stairs, blocking everybody's way. I was once told by a dental nurse I was a fire hazard because of my size, so could I wait outside? Yes, maybe I was, but did she really have to humiliate me in front of everybody? I would then be called in to sit in the sculptured mechanical vinyl type chair. Absolute torture. The arms would be digging into my thighs. I would sweat even more than normal. I would have everything crossed, hoping that the chair didn't break. Even worse, the dentist had to manually pump the chair. It's bad enough thinking I was going to break the chair, but what if I broke the dentist? And then you feel it. All your wobbly bits that you have no control over begin to seep out of the side of the chair when it starts moving. The dentist having to lean over the wobbly bits to reach to your mouth. All the time, thoughts are racing through your head. Why am I this big? Why can I not lose weight? I'm so ashamed. I just want to go home. Then it happens. The bit I would dread the most. Hearing those words, can you spit? How? I'm wedged in a chair. I'm lying on my back with no strength to pull my body weight up. I gently lean to one side in the hope the tiny little sink is close by. but no such luck. I now have the dilemma: do I spit and hope for the best? Do I spit and feel the dribble of shame? Or do I just swallow whatever gunk is in there? All I would be thinking about would I just need to leave as quick as possible. The biggest rule to follow at your dentist's appointment is, as you leave the chair, don't ever look back, because what you don't see won't haunt you for the rest of the day. The big sweat patch you've left on the vinyl chair. I would return home feeling disgusted with myself because of my weight. I wouldn't spend the time asking my dentist questions. He would talk about decay, but I didn't really know what that meant. He would advise me to use dental floss or mouthwash, but I struggled financially, and I wanted to ask, is the budget ones just as good? Do they work? I would be advised to limit the amount of sugar I would consume. I'd want to ask about sugar in fruit juices. Are they good or bad? Only recently we've been told about sugar levels in bread. I didn't understand how sugar affects your teeth. The language that may be used isn't always understood. And because I was ashamed of my body, I wouldn't want to ask. I just wanted to be someone else, somewhere else. So I get out of there as quick as I could. Feelings like this wouldn't just occur when visiting the dentist. Unfortunately, it would be most daily tasks. I also recall my first appointment with a dietitian was at the age of 10 years old. Nobody spoke to me. Nobody asked me how I felt or what was happening to me. The conversation was aimed at my mum. The assumption was made that to my parents that I was eating too many sweets and I was not being active. All I was being was judged on how I looked. In reality, I was being physically and mentally abused every single day by a classmate. I would have to give her a chocolate bar and 20 pence or she would beat me up. She would tell me it's for my own good to stop me from getting fatter. I could never tell anybody because she was right. I was fat. And if I had told somebody, they would just agree with her. My mother stopped giving me pocket money as part of my diet plan. So I turned to theft. I would steal milk from our neighbour's doorstep so I could keep the money my mother had given me to buy milk, just so my bully wouldn't hit me. If I had no money, I would drink vinegar and put my fingers down my throat to make myself vomit so I didn't have to go to school. After a number of years, I couldn't take any more. It was our first day in senior school and my bully approached me, demanding £1 every day and a chocolate bar. Something inside me just snapped, and totally out of character, I picked up a brick and hit her in the face, breaking her nose. I was expelled from the school with the incident on my record. Nobody cared when I told them that she had been bullying me. I was told physical violence is unacceptable. I had become a thug, a thief, and a liar, all because of how I was treated because of the body I lived in. As an adult, I've been spat at in the street. I've been verbally abused whilst working out in a gym. I've been refused promotion because I wasn't the right image. I've been told by strangers I should die so people who are genuinely sick can get help. I've cried at the end of many days through mental exhaustion due to carrying around my protective armour. My hurt hidden behind the being bubbly, life and soul of the party, or having a big smile. All whilst trying to prove my body wasn't stopping me from achieving. I've spent years feeling a failure. All I've ever been told by healthcare professionals, TV, media, governments, society, friends, and even family is my size is all my fault. I should simply eat less and move more. Comments like, you have done this to yourself, you need to stop eating, Only you can change. You have no willpower. It's your choice to live like that. The list is endless. To eat healthy and be active will help anybody to become healthier. However, if you're a person living with obesity, the complexities need to be recognised and addressed. I've spent thousands of pounds on fat-burning tablets, machines to move my muscles, gym memberships, aerobic, Zumba, bums and tums classes, buying expensive plus-size gym clothes, all because I was desperate to lose weight. I just wanted to be normal, and I just wanted to fit in. I've worked 10-hour night shifts, filling shelves in Tesco, then having a 2-hour gym session with a personal trainer 3 times a week. But nobody sees that. They just see my obesity and believe I choose to do this to myself because I lack willpower, I'm lazy, and a glutton. You may never have witnessed weight stigma or bias, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Unfortunately, of all my experiences, some of the most damaging have come from healthcare professionals. The judgment and ridicule I've received led me to simply stop asking healthcare professionals for help out of pure shame. My first ever smear test, I was asked to lie on the floor as I was too big for the examining table. I felt so humiliated, it took 20 years before I returned for my second ever smear test. When I think back, I realise how life-threatening this experience could have been. I was so ashamed of my body and I felt completely worthless. Why could I not lose weight no matter how hard I tried? I attended a general practitioner's appointment as I had an ingrowing toenail. I was told, you need to go away and come back when you're not so fat. No treatment, no advice, no prevention, just humiliation. At the age of 39 and weighing 24 stone, my ingrowing toenail had become infected. The pain was unbearable and I could hardly walk. I knew I needed medical help. I booked an appointment with a new doctor at my surgery. Feeling very anxious, I sat in front of her and I explained about my toe. And after her examination, she set out a treatment plan. She then changed my life forever. She asked me, can we have an open and honest conversation about your health? How do you sleep at night? Is there anything you constantly worry about? How are things at home? Who is your support network? How is work? She told me, I'm worried about you, Angela. I'm worried about your weight and the effect it can be having on your health. I know how difficult it is and I want to help you. For the first time, I had the confidence to open up. I had been seen as Angela and not just excess fat. I wanted to talk because my doctor wanted to listen. She explained to me that my numerous attempts to lose weight didn't mean I was a failure. She told me my increasing weight was not all my fault. I needed help and support. As I left the room, I was called back. Angela, I'm here for you. For the first time, I felt like I wasn't alone. This one conversation was not only life-changing, but life-saving. I was referred to weight management, and with the continued support of my general practitioner, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea and high blood pressure. I began a 2-year program of support from specialist dietitians, psychologists, physiotherapists, and weight management consultants. After 2 years of maintaining my weight, the team were convinced I had made significant lifestyle changes and I needed more than eat less, move more. It was agreed for me to receive the life-saving bariatric surgery as a treatment. Like I said earlier, I lost 12 stone in the first year. And I've regained 2 stone. The anxiety before any appointment, the fear you are going to be judged as soon as you walk in the room, the feeling of complete worthlessness and failure is overwhelming. There is nothing anyone can say that you haven't already said to yourself. I would self-stigmatize before I even walked in a room. The mental health aspect of living with obesity for me has been the most challenging. I've received 18 months cognitive behavioural therapy, which I believe is a huge part of how I am still alive today. The continuous failure to lose weight left me feeling worthless and alone. It became so bad I found myself with a bottle of vodka and a large amount of tablets. To this day, I don't know what stopped me from taking them. The hardest part of living with obesity is people's judgment. The judgment that I choose to live in this body, that I've brought it on myself. At 24 stone, nobody looks into my eyes or sees my smile. They just seen fat. I will always be a person living with obesity, as my surgery is only a tool to help me live a healthier life. But I'm fighting my biology, and potentially I can regain all of what I've lost. I still need ongoing support from healthcare professionals. However, I'm approached in a completely different way because I'm not seen as being 24 stone. I use the strategies I've learned through CBT to be kind to myself, to recognise challenging situations and how to deal with them. Most of all, I have discovered my support network, who I can talk to without fear of judgment. I've been educated to the complexities of obesity and the scientific evidence that proves up to 70% of a person's weight is determined by their genetics. Just like the colour of our eyes, the colour of our hair, the size of our feet and our height. My obesity is not all my fault. I need more than eat less, move more. I needed the intervention of bariatric surgery as a treatment. If my general practitioner had not seen me as Angela, I truly believe I would not be alive today. This is why I share my experience, in the hope that together we can make a change and help support people living with obesity. Today, I hope I have assisted you to see obesity from a different perspective. As humans, we all need to take responsibility for our health. I truly believe to eat healthy and be active will help everyone live a happy and healthier life. However, we are all individuals with different struggles, and what works for one person may not achieve the same results for others. What we can all achieve is to be kind to each other and treat everyone with dignity and respect. If you as a healthcare professional can see your patients as people first, you can gain their trust and empower them to be open and honest with you. Unfortunately, at some point in time, everyone potentially will become a patient. Whatever our status or privilege, we all have a common goal to live a happy and healthy life. I would like to thank you for the work you achieve and for attending today's conference. I wish you all good health and please stay safe. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. And before I hand back to Fiona, I would just like to say that listening to the previous presenters and having a little bit more of an in-depth knowledge of what you as dental nurses actually have to achieve in your daily work, from a patient, I really want to say a huge thank you. And I appreciate everything that you achieve to help me be healthy within my oral care. Your job is extremely important, and I believe that you're not valued enough to how you should be. For all what I've seen, you know, the technical side, the knowledge you need, the personal skills, the paperwork side of things, your job is invaluable. And personally, from me, a heartfelt thank you for all that you do.